Please get you to stand and face the entrance and help me in welcoming Mr. and Mrs. Andy and Stephanie Morrell.
So I get to kick this all off, I guess. Yay. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kristen Collier. I am Stephanie's maid of honor. And Steph and I have been friends since the first grade. We like to say it's from back when our mothers made us hold hands at Skateland. So Mom, I don't think I ever thanked you for that, but it seems to have worked out. So having grown up together, you know, we've really been there for each other through all of the major milestones. We chattered our way through elementary school. We were purposely separated in classes because we talked too much. You know, we navigated the halls of middle school together, and then of course high school. And I remember your first high school dance, your first date. I remember our excitement when you got your license. And your parents' unexcitement when you got your first rep, and your second, and your third, and your fourth. Actually, I think there were about 6. But anyway, we graduated high school, and although we picked colleges 550 miles apart from each other, we were just fortunate enough to stay really close. So, but I remember the first time I heard about Andy. It wasn't from Steph, actually it was from Jeff, wherever he's at. And I asked her about it. I'm like, so I hear you're kind of hanging out with this guy Andy, and she's like, oh, you know, and played it cool and totally played it off, but her voice hit like a different octave when she was talking about it. So I knew, I was kind of like, oh, that's a little weird. So the first time I met Andy was about 6 weeks after they started dating, and honestly, I thought to myself, I'm going to have to start sharing my best friend. So, I mean, I knew. So, and then Steph, I don't know if you recall, but a conversation we had kind of a few months in to you and Andy, you started dating, and I said to you, I said I couldn't have envisioned a more perfect person for you than Andy. You complement each other so beautifully. And I mean that now more today, I think, than I ever have. So, anyway. I just wanted to say that I'm really honored to be a part of the first milestone of the rest of your lives, your wedding. And I really look forward to being a part of many more in the future. So I love you both. So if everyone could raise a glass.
Yeah.
To Stephanie and Andy. Okay, so now I'm going to hand it off to Rob.
Thank you, Kristen. So I'm Rob. I'm Andy's older brother, the best man at this wedding. And I really felt like I should use this opportunity to tell some stories about my little brother. And for those of you that know Andy, you know, obviously, he's sort of a strange and mysterious little man at times. And the first time that I experienced this phenomenon with him was when I first met him, on the day he was born. And I remember driving to the hospital. I think my dad took me, and I went in, and we stopped at Burger King on the way. I think I had some onion rings or something, maybe a junior Whopper. I wasn't full size by then yet. So, and I picked him up a little crown. And I didn't really know it at the time, but I took that crown to him, and I laid it on his little head there, and from the moment that I laid eyes on Andy, I knew that from that moment on, I had a best friend. I had somebody that I would always love, that would always love me, and I was lucky enough to have a little sister couple of years later too. We get to share in this, but from that moment that I saw Andy, I knew that I would never be alone in the world. That I'd always have a little brother, and always have somebody that that I could share that love with. And a few decades down the road, Andy pulled another one of these really mysterious disappearance and reappearance things on me, where we were supposed to meet for lunch one day. And it was just an average day. I don't know, I think we were going to go grab some Indian food or something together. I had the day off randomly. And Andy just went completely incommunicado. I didn't hear from him. I was calling him, texting him, everything. And it was very strange for me to not hear back from my little brother like that, because he's usually very, on top of the ball, much more so than myself, I might add. So I was slightly concerned. And so I finally got through to him, and I answered the phone. Hello, Andy. Yeah, okay, what's going on, bud? And he goes, okay, he's all stuttery. I'm sorry, I missed lunch. I bought an engagement ring, dude. I bought an engagement ring, okay? I'm going to propose to Stephanie. And honestly, you would think maybe I'd be a little more like, oh my goodness, Andy, that's incredible. And I was just like, that is great. That is an awesome. And that moment, much like the first time that I laid eyes on Andy there with his little Burger King crown on, I knew that he was opening that again for me, that there would be more people in our family that I loved and that loved me. And obviously I'd known Stephanie for quite a few years there. I'd met Kevin in the dishwashing area of a certain restaurant that we worked at together. And Andy called me and explained that Kevin did not have a job. He was looking for one, and brought him right in. So, but my point is that Andy has always been somebody throughout the years that was easy for other people to love, and really opened my circle of friends for me. Even as the older brother, Andy brought people into my life, and he's always just been my best friend. And so today at their wedding, obviously this is a momentous occasion. We're sad that some of our grandparents can't be here with us, Grandpa Jerry, Grandpa Bill, Grandma Grace, Pap Ken, Grandma Ruth. But when we think of them, we think of the love between Andy and Stephanie, the love between me and Kevin, my new brother, and expanding those circles of love. So I'd like to thank Andy and Stephanie for this wonderful day, and wish them all the luck in the world. To my best friend, my new sister, my new brother, thank you. Cool.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Andy, because I know him a lot better than Steph, although I'm getting to know Steph quite well. She's attended several of our family affairs over the years, and like Rob said, I could see the sparkle in her eyes the very first time I met her. The way Andy and Steph look at each other, it's just obvious that they were in love. Long before they admitted it publicly, I think. Okay? But the story I want to tell about Andy is how selective and choosy he has been over the years. He has never been one to just take the first thing that comes along. And the first story I can remember is when he was at his grandmother's house. He was about 2 years old, and it was time for him to take a nap. And his grandmother put his favorite blanket down on the floor, and said, Andy, you go take a nap. And Andy just kept throwing a fit. And this went on for several minutes. And finally, I think Jeanette called Deb and said, what is wrong? He won't take a nap. He's throwing a fit. And so Deb calmly explained to Grandma, you got to flip the blanket over. The bear has to be up. That's the only way he will sleep. So that problem solved. But again, he remained like this his whole life. He always took time to make friends. When we moved to a new place, he always had Rob and Katie, of course, as his friends. But Andy was always very slow to make friends. But once he made a friend, it was forever usually. And that's the way he's always been. And one other story I want to tell about how selective he is. He was one of these sock guys as a little kid. And I don't know if you've ever met one of these people, but he could not stand socks that had seams across the toe. So we either had to get him socks without seams or turn the seams upside down so they weren't across the top of his toes so he could wear them. Now the reason I tell you these stories is because he is selective. And like I said, when he met Steph, and they started dating, The sparkle in both their eyes was obvious. He knew there was more there than what they were admitting at first, and we could see the love between them. And I'd just like to thank Bill and Vicki for raising such a fantastic young lady, and a woman who's going to make Andy very happy over the years, I'm sure. And so, without further ado, raise your glass, and we'll have a toast to the sparkle in their eyes.
I would like to thank everybody who's come from a long, long ways away to join us on this special day. As we all know, this wouldn't have happened without a lot of help from family and friends, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, nephews. Good job, guys. We really appreciate it. It's taken a lot of work. It's been a beautiful day. Andy, Steph, we're very proud, very pleased. I knew you guys were going to get married before you guys knew you were going to get married. And you're going to say, how could you know that? And I'm going to say, because when you passed the Kevin test, which you did early on, we called it the Kevin test. Kevin adopted you quicker, I think, than Stephanie did. So, Ken and Deb, thank you for everything. We love your family. Rob, I kind of look at it now that we have you and Andy and Kevin. We have our own version of the Hanson brothers. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to get to the fun part of the program now. We can take our shoes off, turn the lights down, have a couple cocktails, and kick back. But it's been a wonderful day. We appreciate everything you've done for us.
This point in the evening, but we just wanted to thank all of you for being here. It's been a really special day, special weekend, and it wouldn't have been the same without all of you. So thank you for being here. It means a lot to us. Just some quick thank yous. Western, their crew, their catering staff did an awesome job. We've worked with them for a long time. So. These 8 people right here have done so much work and more than anything been our sanity today. They're watching Andy earlier when he looked like he was going to throw up before he's writing his vows. They're making sure I remember to eat today and all sorts of things. So we consider you guys to be our 8 best friends, and we are so lucky to have you be part of this. So thank you so much. And to our parents, we're so lucky. We have so much great family and friends in the room, but our parents have been so hugely supportive of us. Deb and Ken and Mom and Dad, you guys have just been so hugely supportive and selfless. And on that note, my parents, it's their 30th anniversary on Tuesday, and they were so very selfless and generous in letting us kind of upstage their weekend. So I'd like to do a toast to your 30th anniversary. We're so lucky to have such good examples of marriage in our life. So here's to marriage and here's to lifelong happiness. And now let's party.